Falcon fans, and of course, good old Atlanta Falcon fans. How y'all doing, man? One time for the fan. Jack Spade is here. T Will for my ATO Sports One time for the fan. Apple Podcast, Spotify Podcast, Amazon Podcast. Man, we are just doing the damn thing. Want to give a big shout out to everybody who's here checking in early. Shout out for those that's listening. Shout out for those that's watching. One time for the fan, from the fan, for the fan. We're just here to talk some Atlanta Falcons football. We ain't hurting nobody. So big shout out to all you diehard Atlanta Falcon fans. Big shout out to all you season ticket holders in the chat too as well. Payments are due coming up, y'all. Can't run from that automated payment system. You just can't run from it.
You can run, but you can't hide.
I'm guessing Friday morning for those that have it on auto pay. Friday morning, you're gonna see that 400, 700, 2,000, 3,000, no matter what you pay for your season ticket. It's hitting on Friday. Oh, it's gonna hit. 6:55 in the morning. 6:55 in the morning.
6:55 in the AM.
Sheesh. Big shout out to all you diehard Atlanta Falcon fans. Everybody's in the chat here already talking Falcons football. Smooth C is here.
What's up, Smooth C?
Falcons football one time for the one time. Big shout out to Smooth C. Let's go. You already know we in here talking Falcons football. We're having a good time. Dwayne Ruffin is here one time for the one time. Rise up.
What up, D?
We live and we lit. Jonte Rozier is in the chat with the
What up, Jonte?
Big shout out to Jonte Rozier. Big shout out to T Will. Big shout out to Miss Carey. Big shout out to Bodie 3000. All you content creators out there. I know it's gonna be a long off season, right? So just keep doing what you're doing. We're doing this together. Right, so you got a new defensive coordinator for all you content creators in the Falcons community. We have a new defensive coordinator here at one time for the fan. Jeff Wolf. I'm sorry, Jeff Wolf. What the Jeff Wolf? Shit. Diehard Atlanta Falcon fan. I'm over here saying Jeff Wolf. Jeff Olbrich. Falcons new defensive coordinator. Of course, he brought some luggage with him. Would you consider that Louis luggage, like Deion Sanders was saying? Nate Ali, the defensive line coach, and Mike Ruckenberg, the linebackers coach. Is that Louis to you? You know, when Deion left Jackson State and went to Colorado, he brought Louis. You know, he brought some players that went over there, made a major impact. Are these two guys that is now in the building going to make a major impact for us, Terry?
Only time will tell. I do know that one of the gentlemen, the defensive line coach, had some very good defensive linemen, right? Mm-hmm. He had DeMille Hunter and Will Anderson. So, you know, you can't go wrong with those two. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. But it's interesting. You know, I'm looking forward to it. Going to be positive. I don't know what the impact is that these two coaches are going to have. You know, again, you always have to ask yourself, okay, was it the player or the system? So I'll be interested to see. Jack, give me your thoughts. What are your thoughts on Ulbricht's coaching staff that report to him?
So far, so good, I must say.
Okay.
The hires that we brought in, a lot of Falcon fans were speaking about this before we went to go on the defensive line candidate search and looking for a linebackers coach too as well. There was a couple names that were brought up in the Falcons community. One of the names was Mike Ruttenberg too as well. He now comes over from the Jets with Jeff Olbrich. But Nate Ali is a very important piece because we've seen the Texans defense and we know DeMeco Ryans as a head coach. They brought over some players in the offseason last year that made an impact on that defensive line. And they also drafted two as well to make an impact on that defensive line. And Terry, you got a new linebackers coach. You have a brand new defensive coordinator in the building, right? Jeff Olbrich. You have a new defense. Terry, it just screams defensive player at 15, right?
Oh yeah,
you have to reward these three
player
guys.
At everything is what it screams.
You have to reward these three guys. Are you rewarding these three guys with a safety at 15? I don't think so. Are you rewarding these three guys with a cornerback at 15? I don't think so. And of course, hearing the scheme that's going to be drawn up between Ulbrich Jerry Gray, Nate Ali, Mike Ruttenberg. Everybody's included. Raheem Morris. Everybody's included in this defensive scheme. A little bit of 3-4, a little bit of 4-3. You heard the comments from Jeff the other day, right, Falcon fans? So let's talk Falcons football here. Give us your comments and your thoughts on Jeff Ulbrich now after hearing the press conference the other day from Jeff Ulbrich. I think the pieces that we brought in can make a major impact due to the names that they mentioned. Jeff Ulbrich mentioning Grady Jarrett on his first media day with the Falcons shows that they want to get Grady already off that ground, ready to go. I'm talking about as soon as you get out there on that training camp, Grady, you locked in this season. Let's see if we can break those 7 sacks. What is it? 6.5, I think it was 7 sacks for the team for Grady. His team
I
record.
think so.
I'd love to see Grady break his team record this year for sacks. And that's a guy who deserves, not only some winning seasons, but some playoff victories and another Super Bowl run too as well. I told you we're doing it for a couple people here in Atlanta, man. You got to do it for Jake Matthews. You have to. Got to do it for Grady Jarrett too as well. To hear Jeff Ulbrich mention A.J. Terrell. Jeff knows what he has in that building. Jesse Bates. Terry, we know what's in that building on the defensive side of the ball. And now you get a chance to add to it. You have to reward Jeff Ulbrich, Nate Ali, and Mike Ruttenberg. Those seem like 3 guys that I think are going to come into the building and want to draw up some blitzes and some schemes that's going to get to the quarterback. Well, hell, Terry, let's get to the quarterback. Mike Green out of Marshall. Give me him.
Let's go, Mike Green.
Him here.
Let's go.
Jesus Christ, Terry, have you seen the tape on Mike Green down at the Senior Bowl practices?
I've seen the tape, man. This guy's nuts. I mean, bro, he's like killing it. So bring him here, And I tell you what else I'm excited about. I'm excited about that 4-game stretch in which we got 20 sacks because I think that was Raheem, right? So you pair Raheem with Jeff Ulbrich, and I think you got a good thing going on. I do. I definitely think we need an edge rusher. I will definitely take the kid from Marshall.
I'm looking at the kid from Marshall, man. He's talented. And you're hearing it from some of the media and some of the social media pundits out there that's talking about, the guy couldn't do much playing at Marshall, playing against a bunch of no-name schools. Go play up against some of these big boys. Go up against one of these 5-star linemen coming out of Alabama or Michigan. Man is holding it down over there at the Senior Bowl, bro. The first 2 days you're hearing about him. Is he going to be there at 15 is the question.
That's the question.
Is he on the Falcons draft stock? Because don't forget, we're not going to do it. Terry, every time we talk about draft, we got to remember, we're not putting our eggs in one basket like we did last year.
We're definitely not, man. One thing the Falcons have shown.
One thing and do the other. Go ahead, Terry.
One thing the Falcons have shown, they will definitely go against the grain. They don't give a damn. So it was so funny. Carrie and I literally minutes before the pick, we're up here talking and we're like, well, the one thing it's not going to be is Michael Penix. That's literally what Carrie and I said. And a few minutes later, Bodie's like,
well, the funny thing about it is I remember that because you said it on this podcast.
Yeah.
You and Carrie were talking great one time for the Fan Draft podcast, which we're going to have back again this year. 2 hours, 3 hours. We don't care.
Yeah.
We're going to be here talking Falcons football. We had a great time. A lot of special guests checking in. Terry, we can even go back to that moment, man. We had some special guests check in from the draft on the floor of the draft, right in front of the stage. Don't even know if we got the copyright strike from YouTube. I don't give a shit. We're bringing fans. We're bringing people that folks want to hear from, right? To check in with people that was at the draft, to give that experience, the excitement, the energy for the Falcon fans that was in the Falcon circle in front of the stage. Of course, we had a high pick last year. So to hear Michael Penix Jr.'s name, and of course to see the fans and then get the fan reaction, because we went to Uri right after. He was out there as well, speaking to the Falconator out there, speaking to Fan of the Year April Showers too as well. And it's just so great to chat it up with these Falcon fans on a daily basis because they're so cool. right? You just talk Falcons football with them. Everybody wants to win, but then when it's time to do this podcast, and you reach out to your brothers and your sisters in the Falcons community, they return the favor by saying, "Hey, look, I'm available at this time." Even to be at the draft,
Right.
people were checking in with us.
Right.
You can experience that. You don't have to get on the phone and do all the yelling and the shot. The Falconator was in the middle of the damn the what is that? The crowd behind the pretty much behind the scenes out there in the streets.
Yeah.
It's like 40,000 people out there. The Falconers
and
holding
he joined us too. He joined us too, which was great.
It's great, man.
Yeah.
So this year's One Time for the Fan draft special is going to be great. Have a lot of people stopping by. But yeah, just expect about 2-3 hours of us just talking Falcons football with Michael, with April, with Smooth C, with Jonte, with Dwayne, with everybody who's able to join us and talk Falcons football. So draft special, we're already calling it right now. It's going to be great. But Terry, it's funny how we mentioned Mike Green from Marshall. And of course, there's a couple other names I'm sure Falcon fans are looking at right now coming out of the draft. And, our good friends over at PFF here have a report out. Of course, we've used a lot of PFF reports here in the past year to talk about what the Falcons need, and of course their rankings and power rankings and all different type of things. Well, they also just put out the NFL team needs tracker for 2025. Every NFL team and what they need going into the draft, right?
Yeah, they did.
And Mike Green's name, of course, would be mentioned because if you look here, the Atlanta Falcons, day 1 or day 2 options in bold letters, edge James Pierce Jr. That was one name that I mentioned over there at, oh Lord, let me get this. That's one name that I mentioned over there at what's the content creators, our good friends, Out of Your Falcons Mind. When Mike asked me what player do you think the Falcons might have on their draft board, I had mentioned this guy right here, James Pierce Jr. from Tennessee. But you see their needs: wide receiver, edge, linebacker, cornerback. Does that mean go wide receiver at 15? No, does not mean that. It means somewhere in this draft, you should go ahead and try to get one. Or before the draft comes, you get one in free agency. Falcons need speed off the edge, which is exactly what Pierce can provide over the past 2 seasons, ranked over 107 total pressures, earned an 81.9 and 88.9 PFF pass rushing grades in 23 and 2024. Terry, a lot of reports that we're seeing, even with the CBS report that we talked about a couple weeks ago, that had us picking the young man Walker from Georgia. This right here, PFF recently putting out the team needs for every team going into the draft. James Pierce Jr. being mentioned here. The USA Today article we talked about a couple weeks ago had James Pierce Jr. Mel Kiper Jr. has us selecting Shamar Stewart on his first mock. Mike Green is heavy in the Falcons fandom right now amongst the community. Terry, everything is screaming defense, 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 defense. Even PFF is telling us right here in big bold letters, defense. You should not. I don't see safety. I don't see tackle. I don't see center, which might be a priority. But Terry, the number one priority, I think, for Falcon fans to go into this draft with a new defensive coordinator, with a new defensive line coach, a new linebackers coach, Terry, you got to bring a dog out. I need to see a defensive player at 15.
Agreed, which is why they'll select a kicker. No, just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Dang.
No, I can't get a wow. Nothing. No wow. Nothing.
I'm over here.
I mean, come on.
I'm pushing buttons now. Hold on, I got you.
The element of surprise. Come on. I mean, from way down there. Come on, no. I mean, it's got to be.
Yeah, wow. Travis Preston in the chat. What's up, Terry?
What up, Travis? T Terry, how you doing? Mike, how you doing? It's got to be a defensive play. You really don't need it. I mean, you need to re-sign our center. Okay, you need to re-sign Drew Dowman. But outside of that, I'm not drafting a center to replace him anyway, because that's not what you do with offensive linemen, unless they're just big behemoths and studs, which, I don't see.
So the Falcons would be in the business of developing centers. You draft a guy, you don't extend him when it's time to go and keep him here in Atlanta. You send him on his way, then you go draft another guy. Oh, that would be great. No, we're not doing that.
Yeah, no. So we definitely need to sign Drew Dalman. But with that being said, man, what else could it be on defense? I mean, look, you got offensive players. Okay, you got two good receivers. You got two studs on receiver. You got a good tight end, mercurial sometimey, but still a good tight end. You have two great running backs. One who is a once in a generation guy, and the others who is pretty darn good. You have what I think is your franchise quarterback, and you have an offensive line that's been together for at least 3 or 4 years. I think obviously the pick is defense. All day, every day, twice a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. Got to be defense.
Well, let's stay on the topic of defense. Big shout out to the homie Damsky for reporting this too as well earlier, putting this out within the Falcons community. Go ahead and put it up here. He said Falcons linked to 2 free agents here, and this is unsourced too as well. This is coming from obviously. Let's see here. This is probably what is this? The ESPN Matt Bowen. Um, Falcons linked to 2 free agents here: Khalil Mack, Jamie Sherwood. Sherwood makes a ton of sense coming from the Jets too as well. I just don't know what the motivation Mack would have to sign here. Interesting that he knows ATL will be in the pass rush market. You're hearing another report that of course we're going to be in the pass rush market. If every other team knows this, then I think they're going to attack this. So that probably does limit them to just Mack. I look at Eagles Josh Sweat as maybe a more realistic option. Damsky knows football. We're going to get Damsky on the podcast too later on this season. So definitely want to tune in for that episode. It's going to be a great one. We have Ricondo, real Atlanta Falcons fan, checking in with us next week, Friday, for Breakfast with One Time for the Fan. I'm sure a lot of you all have seen Ricondo before on our channel. He joined in with us for draft night. He was also on us with a special guest earlier last year. Or Ricondo's coming back to the channel next week, Friday morning, to talk Falcons football with us. But you see right here, Terry, we're talking defense. You can go draft a guy. You can go into the free agency and get a guy. Khalil Mack is a name that is still ringing bells amongst the Falcon fan households because they want a guy that can, not only get in here and coach up a young guy. Khalil's going into the end of his career here at 34. It's kind of like your Dwight Freeney era for Khalil Mack. And I think, if you bring him over here, you pair him with a guy like,
Ebiketie.
Honored Ebiketie, D'Angelo Malone, and of course, whoever your new edge or your new out linebacker move might be in the draft would be a great fit to have a guy like Khalil Mack over there too as well. I would have no problem with a guy like Khalil Mack. And apparently he has already stated that he does want to come back to play another year. Is it that Calais Campbell moment for Khalil Mack right now? I just think that this guy's, he's still extremely good. You saw what he did with the Chargers last year. And if he's linked to not going back to the Chargers, of course, every day things change amongst the players and their thoughts and their families and the agents. So we don't know that when free agency opens, the Chargers go back and snack him up or the 49ers go get him. But I think if Edge is on your radar, Falcon fans, Khalil Mack should be a name to watch for. Of course, if you want to get strong at linebacker too as well, Jamie and Sherwood is a name to watch for. He was coached up over there with Jeff Ulbrich and Rettenberg, so he does know the system too as well, familiar with the staff. So you can bring him over here to help out with your J.D. Bertrams, to help out with your if Zoe Carter will be here going forward, to help out with Nate Landman, Caden Ellis. And I think he would be a good fit too as well. And a guy that Jeff Ulbrich knows. It's not Louis. It's not like it's the Gucci bag, right? Or it's the big fancy, Prada bag. But it's a linebacker I think Jeff Ulbrich trusts that he can bring over. Remember Caden Ellis when he came over from the Saints? That system of who he trusts here, who he was familiar with here in Atlanta, it did help out with Caden Ellis because now people want Caden Ellis here in Atlanta going forward. So it's good to see name.
Micah Kors back then, if he's not Louis or Gucci, is he at least Micah Kors?
Hey man, I ain't here to bash because he might be a future Falcon, but man, I don't know, man. We looking at probably an Oakley bag right now, man. I don't even know.
Okay, all right, no worries, no worries.
I don't know about no. I don't even know if it's up there, Michael Kors now.
Okay, okay.
Of course, still got a little
coach?
bread now.
Is he coach? Is he coach bag?
Yeah, I'll give him the coach. I'll give him coach.
Okay, all right, I can
I'll
dig
give
it.
him not YSL or anything. I give him coach.
Okay, all right, I can dig it.
Travis Preston's in the chat. Big shout out to Travis Preston. Cool C's in the chat. Big shout out to Cool C too as well. Give us your thoughts on Jeff Ulbrich, the comments that he recently spoke to the Falcons fan base and the media. People got a chance to hear about what the scheme could possibly be. He mentioned some players too as well, very high back on Grady Jarrett, AJ Terrell. Of course, some of these young guys he's going to be working with. He called it home too as well, if I'm not mistaken. He called it returning home, same like Raheem
I
did when
believe
he
he
said I'm
did.
home.
I believe he did. Jack, I got a question for you.
What's
What
up,
do
man?
you think about the fact that he can run, that he said he's going to run a 3-4 and a 4-3? Because I got mixed reviews and mixed comments online when we ran that. So just give me your thoughts on that.
Well, he's an experienced coach in this league. He's been around for a while, so he's been under some coaches that he does understand how you can run these concepts.
Right.
And I think some people want more of a specific answer to say no. If you're running 4-3, say 4-3. If you're running dime, say dime. If you're running 4-2-5, say that. Jeff I think he just threw an answer out early because you don't have all the guys in the building. What are you going to
Right.
run more of?
Right.
What are you running more of? We don't know. We heard last year that we're switching the scheme to 3-4 pretty early from Jimmy Lake. Yes, we heard that pretty early that we're switching to 3-4. So that's what we knew it was. Well, of course, different variations of other different formations, but through the 3-4. I think this year he's going to lean off what the players want. If Jeff is a player's coach, you have to go speak to your players. You have to go speak to Grady. You have to go speak to you speak to AJ Terrell too as well. Jesse Bates. What are they more comfortable in these systems? Now, we trying to get after the quarterback. So for Jeff Ulbrich, I think a lot of fans want to see us back in the 4-3. Right? It will help Grady out a little bit more. You got to put a big body next to Grady and a speedster too. Did you see Jalen Carter? You see some of these players that's out here playing in the playoffs right now, going to the Super Bowl? Them is some animal. Those are dogs, bro.
Yeah, man.
You need a couple of those guys, man. And just seeing Grady go through what he's been through over these years, you got to plug somebody right next to him, not just a run stuffer. Yeah, plug somebody that's going to go over there and literally put a slapping on that offensive tackle or guard or center, whoever's in his way. But for me, I think we're going to run more 4-3. But training camp's going to come up. We'll get a chance to see that. Am I going to sit here and argue with fans about what scheme they're running? No, because I don't know what scheme they're running.
Right, none of us
We're
do.
going to see
right.
out there in training camp. We'll find out how early during the season, around spring, summer, what are they running more of? There are a lot of people who covered the Falcons, good people like Myles Garrett, big shout to Myles Garrett from Fox 5, who will come out and they will tweet that, hey, I'm seeing more of this nickel. I'm seeing more of the dime with Jeff Ulbrich. I'm seeing more of 4-3, not too much 3-4. The players got to feel comfortable in whatever Jeff Ulbrich's going to be throwing around this season for defensive schemes. I'm all for getting to the quarterback. I love to see what that second half. I love seeing what that second half of the season did for that defense. How we turned some things around. Still couldn't make it to the playoffs, but if we would have had that in the first half of the season, we would have been in the playoffs. Because I can name multiple games where we needed defense in the first half of the season. We needed it. We didn't have it. It's like we substituted too as well. We had offense first half of the season, and then we went into the bye, and then we took the defense, and the offense went away.
Yeah.
So it's kind of weird. But next year, we'll let time play out. Of course, we'll go out there to training camp. One time for the fan, we'll be out there. I don't give a damn if it's 10, 15, 20 days. We'll be out there a bunch of days. You guys know how we do it here at One Time for the Fan. We love being out there supporting the Falcons in the field. You got to check out the IG page too around draft time because we're going to be posting a lot over there. There's going to be some YouTube content, but a lot of it's going to be on the fly right there, front row. Terry, you saw it last year. We was out there at Buford at the training ground where they had the practice. We was at the Benz talking with the players, coaches, everything was at the practice. We're doing the same thing again this year, just on a bigger scale.
Yeah.
But for me, run more 4-3. Right, run
Uh,
what makes it work. He talked about familiarity and being back with Raheem and what they unfinished business. Well, let's see what that is then. Bring back more 4-3. Just don't be running a bunch of stunts and schemes that don't get to the quarterback. I can tell you right now, you go ahead and get Jimmy Lake back in here if you want to do all that shit.
yeah,
And matter of
I
fact,
think
don't do that.
yeah, no, don't ever do that. Sorry, Jimmy. Sorry, Jimmy. Sorry. We'll still validate your parking, but yeah, no. So I think it's probably going to be contingent upon your personnel, right, Jack? So
does anybody know who our starting middle linebacker is next year or starting tackle next to Grady? We don't know.
We don't know.
We haven't even
right?
seen these guys yet.
Right.
Let the bodies get in the building, and then we'll talk schemes.
Right. But let's say you go out and get a 360, 370 pound defensive tackle. I'm assuming he's going to be in your 3-4. You know, that's just me, right? You go out and get a big boy. So it just depends on, and like you said, it could be also he's got to talk with the players and see what they're comfortable with. Because look at the greatest success that you're going to have is you either draft players to fit your scheme, or if you're just showing up there and you got a ready-made defense, you got to fit your scheme to your players. And we seem to respond to that 4-3 last year. So, yeah,
Terry,
I agree.
Because you're correct. You are 100% correct. But Terry, here's the good thing: people that follow college football, like how we follow the Falcons, they're giving us the information we want to hear. They are saying that this draft class, Terry, is just deep with talent across the defensive board. You should be able to get the right guy at 15. I don't care if we're talking get a guy to help on edge through the free agency, because Terry's you're gonna see those memes pop up in a minute. Terry with the damn Terminator eyes, because he's gonna be out there cooking. I don't care what the cap rule, whatever the cap says right now. Terry, cap ain't real. Whatever the cap says right now, Terry gonna fix that in a minute. We're gonna get some guys in the building that want to play some Falcons football. You can see Matt Miller, NFL draft scout right here. Great running back, top end talent and depth. Underrated tight end class, especially in the top 3 rounds. You want to get rid of Kyle? You want to go get a guy? You can do it within the first 3 rounds here. Versatile offensive tackle class with 5 to 6 really good players up top. They're gone in the first round. People need offensive linemen. You got to protect the quarterback. Great defensive tackle class. Loaded in the top 75 picks. Defensive end class has speed and high upside. Power players. Terry, there's 2 or 3 right now on my radar right now. There's one on Mel Kiper's radar, and there's a couple on Falcon fans' radar after today's Senior Bowl practice. I can tell you right now, we snagging us a guy.
Let me ask you a question, Jack.
This year. You got too many bullies out there getting ready to join the Falcons in a minute.
Jack, let me ask you a question. Would you trade down if with all of the defensive players and as defensive rich as this talent is supposed to be, would you trade down, if not in the first round, maybe in the second round, for more picks, because we only have 5?
Here's the good thing about it, Terry. You're asking this question Friday morning breakfast one time for the fan. We're going to mock it out. I want to see who's on the board at 15 for me to say, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and trade down, or I'm making my pick right now. Right now, as you ask me this question, I'm going to say the same thing I said to, who was the Georgia, Texas boy, I believe it was, on the last podcast, when he was like, he's sitting at 15 and he can get somebody for 20 that's going to trade down with him. I'm with that right now. Trade down, collect. If you can get another second or 2 seconds. Let me tell you something. In this NFL, Terry, if you want that 15th pick, I need about 2 or 3 of your picks, or a player 2. There's no more 1-for-1. We're not doing the 1-for-1 stuff.
We're not doing the 1-for-1s?
We're not doing the 1-for-1. You want 15? There ain't no 15 swap 15 20, 15 swap 23, and we shake hands and go, no. 15 swap 20, and I need that second round or that third round to be out.
You don't want
to give it that third rounder?
Hold
on a second. The Vikings are calling. You don't want to give it that 4th rounder too? Matter of fact, let me get that 1st, that 3rd, and that 4th from next year. Future conditional pick down the line too as well. You want this top 15 pick? come get
Yeah.
him. But there is no
No,
one for
I'm
one
gonna need
swap. So
I'm
look
gonna need
out.
picks from this draft. I'm
I'm
gonna need at
picks.
least 2
If
picks
you
from
want
this
to get
draft.
picks from this draft, Terry, think about Terry's future now. The
Yeah.
future of now here in Atlanta, or just going forward to the end of Raheem's contract. Terry,
Yeah.
they said one thing that they stood on this year. We're not picking in the top 10. You told the truth about that. Because we're not.
Yeah.
We're in 15. That sucks. But we're not picking in the top 10.
Well, at least we got our quarterback. So
At least
thank
we got our
God.
quarterback, and we're not going to be in that top 5 shenanigans charade that's going to happen this year, because I'm already hearing, man, there's a report today that Pete Carroll might go after Russell Wilson. He wants Russell Wilson.
Oh, wow.
There's a report going after the Raiders talking
wow.
about Shadur Sanders. There's another report talking about the Tennessee Titans. Man, I'm telling you right now. You saw the Shadur showing up to the Shrine Bowl practice, and him and the coach from the Giants over there in cahoots. Like, there's a lot going on, but I guarantee you this: the Falcons don't have to worry about anything in that top 5. And then guess what? Now we let it play out to get to 15.
Amen. Hey, Jack, we got to do some housekeeping, buddy. We got some guests in here.
Oh, man, let's do it, man. I'm lit, man. I'm glad to talk Falcons football. We do have to get up out of here in just a minute, but, man, I swear, boy, I swear, every time we talk Falcons, man, I love this shit. Tyreek Johnson's here in the chat. What's up, fellas? Big shout
What up, Tyreek?
In the chat. Hey, man, Eastside Atlanta's in the chat, man.
Eastside Atlanta.
Fellas, good day. You know, we represent that Eastside, man. Big shout out to Eastside man in the chat, man. Michael's in the chat. He said, we are linked to Jets and 49ers players as well. That's good.
What up, Mike? Yeah.
There's another name that's in the free agent pool that Falcon fans are looking at.
Dre Greenlaw? Yeah, man.
You get a guy like him, healthy.
Yeah.
You bring in Sherwood from the Jets. Does he make your linebacker room stronger? Yes. Is he your best linebacker in the room? I don't know.
Who you talking about? But Greenlaw is.
You bring Greenlaw.
Greenlaw is the best linebacker in the league.
That's a different story. When they doing that coin toss, he's walking out there with Grady.
Yeah, that's right.
Them Greenlaw jerseys.
That's right.
Your deal's gonna be like.
That's right. Yeah,
through the roof.
Greenlaw is that dude, man.
If you want to scare some people this year, let me tell you something, Falcon fans, because we about to do some housekeeping in the chat. You want to scare some teams this year? You play the Colts. Go look at the schedule. It's a fucking playoff schedule next year. Give us that schedule this year. We're going to the playoffs. Give us that schedule next year, this year. The one that we're playing this season. Just imagine if we had that one last year. The Colts, the Jets, the Dolphins, the Rams. Okay, we lost to the Seahawks. The Cardinals.
But you know, each year is different, Jay.
All right, Terry. God damn. Let me have some fun here, man.
I can't. Because look, we said the same thing about this season, and then the team.
Man, I'm thinking about
we said the same thing about this past season, and then the teams that we thought would suck played better than we thought they were.
And I mean, that schedule predictions every game. What is the score, Jack? Falcons 35, Raiders 10. What's the score, Jack? Falcons 42, Chiefs 10. God
you on that Phillip?
Win.
You on that Phillip stuff tonight? Okay,
that Eric Parker, man.
Yeah, no, that 35 to 10. That's Phillip.
Hey, big shout out Phillip Sapp, man. Big shout out to everybody over there.
What up, Phillip? What's going on?
Tyreek Johnson in the chat. We need youth. I'm sorry, no more pass rushers over 30. We're known for being a retirement home. Hold on now, Tyreek. You bringing in a Khalil? You're
bringing in a Hall of Famer,
bro.
You bringing in a Hall of Famer,
bro. You bring in a Khalil Mack free agency first week, and then slap Falcon fans in the face with like 2 or 3 defensive picks in the draft. I'm talking about good ones. Go ahead and take my season tickets for 2029. I'm telling you right now, Raheem has that fire in him, man. They keep talking about unfinished business and about 2016. That shit really hurts from some of them people on that staff, man.
It does.
You think
it hurts for me.
Not hurting? You think Raheem's not hurting from that?
It hurts
moment?
For me.
He really wants to win for this city,
bro. It hurts for me. I can't even finish the 2016 Super Bowl. I cut it off at the first half. It hurts for me.
I don't know how y'all. I don't even know how some of y'all still watch this.
It hurts for me.
I don't watch it. That was the longest 12-hour ride. Matter of fact, going down, it was a pretty long ride. because I was just chilling, make a couple stops. Driving back, I did the 12-hour ride in like 4 hours. Fox 5
Damn.
Fox 5
You
was
did
driving
what
faster. Matter of
now?
fact, that might have been
You
Miles
did
Garrett.
wait. You did what now, Jack?
Bro, let me tell you something.
Say that again. That math
let
ain't
y'all know,
math.
man.
Say that again.
I'll take y'all back, man. We're gonna do some housekeeping in a minute. Take y'all back, man. Falcons beat the Packers NFC Championship game. I'm at my boy Mike's house. Big shout Mike Anderson, man. Rise Up Tour fan club, man. Diehard Falcon fan. I'm at my boy Mike's house. Everybody's on the phone booking rooms for Houston. Everybody. And we did this. I did it in the first touchdown in the third quarter, I think it was, when Matt hit Julio, I think it was. Because I already knew the game was over at that point. So we trying to get ahead of everybody. We booked the rooms, get the car, everything. I drove my car down. My homeboy rented the RV. 12-hour ride to Houston. And of course, we stopped in New Orleans. We stopped in Mississippi. We stopped in Alabama. So it was a little bit more than 12 hours. Of course, you got to fill up 2-3 tanks of gas. On the way back after the Super Bowl, I made it back on one tank. Tell you the truth.
Damn.
4 hours, man. 12-hour ride in 4 hours. I must have been doing 160.
Bruh.
The cop was just
like... No, you went back in time. That's what you did. You went back in time.
Bro, I swear.
The Avengers came and got you and you did a time warp because you had the time stone.
Bro, cop pulled me over, walked to the front of the vehicle. Excuse me, sir. Rolled on your window. He looked at my hat. He said, go ahead. I said, hey, I appreciate it. And just drove off doing 160 back down.
He said, go ahead. That's what he said.
He said, go ahead.
Oh, wow. Jack's tall tales. All right.
Everybody from that moment. And I think that's what the unfinished business thing is when it comes to the Jeff Ulbrich move.
Definitely.
It was like, and it wasn't even just like an interview. These are buddies talking. Right? So just imagine the interview. It's probably totally different than how they interviewed Lou Amorano or Wink Martindale. Totally different. Why? Because these guys know each other.
I wonder if he was interviewed when he was introduced for his interview, he was introduced as, it's Wink Martindale, ladies and gentlemen.
Shit.
For your next defensive coordinator position.
But they had Pat Sajak call it out. Just like this is a game show. It's Wink Martindale.
It's Wink Martindale.
Wink Martindale.
So Wink, tell us. Tell us about the 3-4, the 4-3 you run, buddy.
Michael's in the chat. Is Grady going to be here? Hey, Siri, call Grady Jarrett. No, don't do that. I think he's going to be here. I think he's going to be all right. You need a guy like Grady. I'm not taking Jeff's comments like I did Julio with Terry's comments. That kind of, because he was like, Julio's my favorite player. It's my kid's favorite player. And then Julio was gone. I'm like, oh, shit. Well, too much for that. But if you look at Grady Jarrett, Jeff Ulbrich mentioned Grady. They know Grady. Grady knows Jeff. I think it's a little bit comfortable that Grady's a little bit more familiar with Jeff's system. But like Jeff said, this is not the coach you saw in 2016. This is not the coach you saw in 2020. He said he is much more experienced. He's much more mature. He understands the game more. He's been in more situation rooms than he has back when he was in 2020 than where he is now. He learned also under Saleh and, of course, a couple other defensive coordinators that know how to get the job done. Can he get the job done? To hear that him, Raheem, Jerry Gray, and I think he said Mike and Nate, they're going to be working on the defensive scheme together on calling these plays. That is what had me feeling like, okay, everybody's in it together. Now there's not just one person you're going to be yelling at. Remember last year, it was the Jimmy Lake thing. Jimmy Lake. This year, Jeff has already said it in the media. Everybody's working together for this play calling situation, for drawing up these plays. So if Jimmy Lake failed you last year, next year you got 4 or 5 guys to yell at. If y'all want to give Jerry Gray the smoke, y'all got to give Jerry Gray the smoke too as well. Don't just call out the defensive coordinator. He just said it. Jeff said it. Everybody's working together on this one. So
I wonder if that means that everybody wasn't working together last year, or
I didn't hear that last year. I didn't hear it. I heard Jimmy Lake. That's what I heard. Well, I heard Jimmy Lake.
It doesn't mean that there wasn't a collaborative effort, but
when you speak of collaborative, you're talking Falcons. Oh, you already know that.
Yeah, but
that's their favorite word.
But I gotta say that's definitely Raheem's favorite word. But I gotta say still, I'm okay with Jeff. After I've mulled it over for a couple, I'm okay with Jeff. Look, he was around Salah for at least 2 years. You got to think some of that brilliance was translated just by osmosis.
Not the osmosis.
Well, I got to use a college word every now and then, Jack. I'm not saying it's deserving of a wow, but I just got to drop one on you every now and then, okay?
I know this, Terry. When it comes to training camp, I know a couple of people who said some things on social media about the hiring of Jeff Ulbrich, but they're going to be right there trying to get a picture and an autograph.
You think so?
Man, you think so? Terry, don't let me call them out. Don't let me at them.
Oh, I halfway want you to do it, but but we have standards, and the standard is the standard, and we can't do that. So, yeah, we can't do that. That's a Raheem reference. The standard is the standard. So, we must keep up the standard. So we can't call them out. At least not on the show.
Speaking of send the Addy, Country, my neighbor said they're home tomorrow if you want to come by and hit the backyard. Pew 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 pew. Tyler Warren at tight end. We talking tight end.
Why low? Why?
I want to see defensive end. Maybe he misspelled something. We talking defensive end.
Why?
Matter of fact, let me type him in. Let me type that name in. I already know what Tyler Warren is. Maybe he was misspelling something.
Maybe he was. Hopefully he was.
Wait a minute. Football tight end. He wasn't.
Low, why? Why though, Big Low? I just want to know why. Are you trying to upset the Falcons fan base? Like, why? I just want to know why.
Let me not get on Country bad side. I need to use that driver this weekend. So,
wow,
Country, you're a good dude, big dog.
Country is a good dude. Country is a great dude.
Big shout out to
Auntie Pam.
Pam is here talking Falcons football. Hello, Jack and Terry and everyone in the chat. Happy Wednesday, everyone. Look, Auntie Pam telling y'all happy Wednesday. She's a diehard Atlanta Falcon fan. She's in the offseason here with us. Auntie Pam's record this season was the same record for us. She ain't no better fan than anybody else in here. We all talking Falcons football together. Big shout out to Auntie Pam talking Falcons football. Pam. She said, thank God we got our franchise quarterback.
Thank God indeed,
Auntie Pam. We got a chance to see him this season, and we got a chance to see what could happen next year. I do think Zach Robinson will be here because offensive coordinators kind of hit the door early after the season is over. So what can Zach Robinson draw up with Michael Penix? Maybe Zach goes back to his old college days with what he used to do.
Jack, I think I got to cut you off, buddy.
What's up?
Man? I think that our friend, a friend of the show, our Jaguars buddy,
think he's the back. Special guest?
I think he's back.
No, you lying.
I think our Jaguars fan, I look down at the bottom.
Jarnell's in here. Oh my God.
Yes. Yes.
The Jacksonville Jaguars fan.
Yes.
Jarnell. Boy, I didn't talk to you since preseason week 2, man.
I mean, it's been a while, man. It's been a while. So much has happened since then. Wow.
What y'all talking about? We talking about Shao Kahn. Or Shao Kahn, the Mortal Kombat character, whoever you got over there.
You call him Shao Kahn. You did that. Call a penalty on yourself. I don't know what for. Pick one.
I'm just saying. The London Jags are back.
Call a penalty on yourself. Jimmy, neck yourself. Call a penalty on yourself.
Because of both was on the other side. Khalil Mack is still a man. He's a very technical player in this NFL, bro. You have a lot of teams will be going after Khalil Mack.
He's better than anybody we got now.
He's nobody that's going to be sitting there week 4, week 5 looking for a team. He hits the free agency, somebody's going after him.
Right.
And I think
he's better than anybody we have now.
A team like the Falcons could suit him well. Look, one thing I do want to get to before we get up out of here. We talked a little bit about the draft notes, about the draft needs. PFF did put out another report. Big shout out to Jarnell Everett too as well. We joke sometimes, but Jarnell's a good friend of the show, and of course I've known him for quite some time too. So big shout out to Jarnell. I'm sure he's getting the Jordans that's dropping on Saturday too. PFF put out a major need for every team when it comes to free agency. Like one move they have to do this free agency. A move that they have to make. We talked about this on the other podcast. What was that? Sunday night? We're back talking about it again here quickly, Terry. Drew Dahlman. I told you that there was small fan reports going on that Drew Dalman could be targeted by the Chicago Bears. We don't want to lose a center like Drew Dalman because I think since he was brought here in Atlanta, was he drafted by Terry? Is that Terry's draft pick? I think it
That's a
might be
good
Smith.
question.
Not
That's a
Smith.
good
That might be
question.
Yeah. So for Drew Dalman, we need to keep Dalman here, right? He has become a really good run blocking schemes type of center. You saw him working with Penix this year. He worked with Kirk Cousins too as well. So you know he can fit a pocket passing quarterback and a pocket passing / mobile style quarterback. But he is pretty much being ranked as one of the best centers in the NFL right now. The last time we had a center who had any type of potential of even being one of the best centers in the NFL was Alex Mack. And a center, like Terry said the other day, is pretty much the quarterback of that offensive line. And it's very important to have a good center, especially with a young quarterback. And I don't think the Falcons want to go into this free agency trying to fix their offensive line with a guy that they know very, very well with Drew Dalman. He knows a lot of people in this building. He's been here for years. You have to lock him up. Is that might be Terry? That might be one of your biggest moves this free agency. It might even just not be the pass rusher and the cornerback or the edge rusher or the wide receiver. You got to bring back your center.
When it comes to offensive lines, Jack, continuity is the mother of success. You got to have guys that know each other. You got to have guys that can block, but you got to have guys that are used to working together as one unit. Offensive linemen have to spend time together, and it's very hard to break one up. So for me, if it's not number one, it's got to definitely be the number two objective of the Falcons is definitely to re-sign Drew Dalman or extend him. You have to have that. You have to, unless you just feel. What was that? I'm sorry.
You mentioned something important. I didn't mean to cut you off. You mentioned about spending time together. This offensive line, outside of Bergeron, who was drafted last year, has spent a lot of time together.
Yes,
and that consistency is key when you're trying to build something that's very fundamental in this NFL of having a team that people would look and say, Jake, Caleb, Chris Lindstrom, Drew Dalman, Bergeron. Holy shit, that's the line that they had last year and the year before that.
Yeah.
That's what's going to happen here in the NFL. If Jake stays here 2 more years, you think they're going to bench Jake? No. Jake will be there. Caleb McGarry, Chris Lindstrom, the best guard in the NFL. Wait a minute. Is it possible that you have a top 10, top 5 center in the NFL as well as the best guard in the NFL too as well? You have to pair them together.
It's possible,
you have to keep them here.
It's possible.
Dalman's PFF rating, his scores, everything has been put on the level of Dalman is a really good center. Some people might go and call out a couple bad snaps here and there, but outside of that, the people who cover the data and the analytics behind the game is saying that Drew Dalman is a top free agent priority for a lot of teams if he hits the market.
Right.
They're not talking about Tyquan Graham or Justin Simmons or Matthew Judon. They're talking about Drew Dalman.
Yeah. I tell you, the mark of a good offensive lineman is how much you do not hear his name on Sunday. And you don't hear Drew Dalman's name a lot on Sunday. You really don't. You know what? To be honest, this entire Falcons offensive line was very decent this year. Very good offensive line. Obviously, more geared to run blocking, but when it mattered, they did the job. And honestly, you bring this crew back next year, I think you got to do it. I think the sky's the limit. Also, want to give Jordan Burden a shout out. Jordan, how you doing out there, buddy? Jordan does podcasts with me from time to time, so just want to give him a shout out. Also, I think I saw Ronnie Thomas in here earlier, disguised as April. Got to give Ronnie Thomas a shout out as well. So again, just want to acknowledge those.
Here comes the Jaguar fan. Now he said we're over here talking about training camp. We're not even done with this season. We done. We done with our season, man. Matter of fact,
and y'all definitely done with.
Been worried about the training camp and the draft around week 2. Yeah, you talking about? Matter of fact, you said all that shit. When
yes,
I was
he
at
did.
Training camp that year.
Yes, he did.
And the Jags were practicing with the Falcons. And I said the comment that Foy Aluakon turned around and heard, and Doug Peterson heard. Where's Doug Peterson now? How's old Dougie doing? Y'all hitting the Dougie in Duval. Duval.
Duval.
What the coach say? Duval. That's what y'all want? That's what y'all want. I'm telling y'all, man. 2-15.
Damn. You didn't have to do that, Jack.
Don't worry about no joint practice this year. Don't even worry about no joint practice. You might want to be down there in Jacksonville, get them boys ready.
That's
TIAA Bank Field needs your assistance.
That's cold, man.
I'm just telling you how it is, man. We done with our season. We trying to get our defensive coordinator ready. We're telling our defense he has family. They're on social media. He probably sees everybody tweeting Mike Green, Mike Green, Mike Green. Go get you a Mike Green then. We trying to help out our team. What y'all doing down there in Jacksonville?
Wow.
What coach say?
Duval.
He was so happy to say that shit. He's out by week 8. He's out.
Damn.
He's out.
Damn.
Gerard Mayo. He's out.
Damn.
Duval. I want to see them signs. You guys are 5-11. He's out. Building a new stadium for what? For him? Josh, the Bills are doing it for Josh. The Falcons did it for not only the city, but Matt Ryan, of course. But what's his name? Cohen? Duval. Are you serious?
So who's their quarterback again? What's his name? Blonde kid, tall guy.
Zach Morris?
No, the Jaguars.
Zach Morris.
No, that's not their quarterback name.
It's Zachariah Morris.
No, it's stop it. Hold on. Unless they traded him.
Building's office.
Hold up.
It's Trevor Lawrence, man.
It is Trevor Lawrence. I'm like, I know that's not them. Okay. Is Trevor Lawrence still there?
Is that Trevor? Is that how Trevor talks to Jarnell? You ready for me to throw some picks today? Coming in here worrying about the Falcons, man. There he down here. Trevor Lawrence. He said you still got them timeouts from the Washington game.
Damn.
Wait a minute.
At least we were still in it.
To week 16? What was I doing in week 16?
Y'all was getting ready to go on vacation. Getting ready to go on vacation is what they were doing.
Cancun on 3. That shit was happening since Jordan practice. Look at Jordan Brady said Jags going on 17 after that. Duval from Cohen. I'm not the only one saying it.
Oh, wow.
And the funny thing about it is, one of the comments on, I forget what social media page that have reposted it, one of the Jags fans says, Jags fan here of 15 plus years, we're doomed. As soon as he heard the Duval, his eyes lit up. What is going on over there? He had to lie to take the job.
Oh, damn. They got him to 2030. Wow. Okay.
Come on now, Jarnell. You know what would have happened if Cohen would have went back there in Tampa Bay? You would have tapped him up, man. You could have walked through that door after having them back and forth with the coaching staff.
Wow.
Hey, man, we've been texting you all day. My phone's been off. Your phone been off? You were down there with Jacksonville, wasn't you?
Oh, wow.
You were down there with them damn Jaguars, wasn't you? That's why he ran over there to Jacksonville. I don't want to go back to Tampa. That's what y'all got? Raheem cool. He watching the shit from the outside. Raheem like, that could never be me. They interviewed me. I ain't had to sneak out for shit. Come on, man. I'm talking Falcons football here, man. Instead of talking about direct flights from Atlanta to Cancun. A bunch of people's on that flight to Cancun right now. And some people coming back too. And there's one more team heading there too. One more team in about a week heading there too.
Oh, wow.
And don't speak to the wrong player on that team. They probably already checked out. Big shout to everybody in the chat. Michael's in the chat. Jordan's in the chat. Tyreek. Lisa Shepard's in the chat. Man, it's so great to see everybody. 82 Money Carlo. Carrie's in the chat. Falcon fans talking Falcon football. We live, we lit. Went over just a little bit. You mean the OC that put up points last year? Yeah, he put up points. We swept them. Don't know much about him after we sweep them.
Swept him and his points, John L. We swept. Hey, John L., did you guys sweep anybody? I'm just curious.
Shit. Swept themselves.
Swept themselves right on.
Wait till y'all play Houston again this year. You think, Cohen's going to be, oh, my God, CJ Stroud. We got to get us a CJ. I can see Cohen going to the office. Hey, everything's all right. Yeah, this is great. Hey, close the door. Close the door. How do we get rid of Trevor? I can see that happening. How do we get rid of Trevor?
I don't know anybody's going to trade for him because his contract doesn't end until 2030. So unless you think you can correct him, you know what I mean? And I mean, look, we don't have the time to get into it, but I don't
time to get into that. I think they're
Yeah.
like the second or third pick. Make the pick, get the short quarterback you need, and do what you guys got to do. John Moreno's in the chat. He's checking in from Texas. What's up, guys? Dan Quinn, choke again. Hey, there's some fans that wanted to see Jaden Daniels win on a underdog level. Hey, we want to see the young kid win. But then there's some fans that's saying, well, we don't want to see Jaden Daniels win because of Dan Quinn. For me, I just wanted to see a good game and see Brian Robinson rush for over 30 yards, which he did.
Prize pick.
It's all about making money now. If you play, now you playing. Now you playing. T. Terry's in the chat. Okay, we might be family. Wavy Hill, Georgia. Oh, big shout out to T. Terry in the chat. Yeah, man, Falcon fans, we just talking Falcons football. One person I don't see here tonight is Eric Parker. Big shout out to Eric Parker. Everything's okay over here, Eric. Mike is good.
Oh,
Mike
wow.
check 1 2 1
Oh,
2.
he's doing it
Mike
again.
Check,
Why?
1 2.
Why do you want the smoke? Okay.
After coming to find out, you got to finish paying off the phone bill. They'll give you the rest of your volume that you can turn up on your phone. I don't know if you.
Oh wow.
You
just want him to come
payments,
back in here.
Wow.
So ladies and gentlemen of the chat, I believe our guy Jack Spade experienced the worst roast of his life a couple of weeks ago when his mic started going crazy. And Eric was the leader of and DSG. I don't know why DSGB's just gonna call him right in here.
He's already in the chat right now. Eric, he's talking about you, Mike. Eric,
he's just gonna call him in here right now, and he's gonna come in dropping bombs, and it's your fault because you awoke the beast.
Get in here, Mike. He in here talking about you, Mike.
Oh wow.
Jack should know I'm the snitch. Hey,
oh,
Eric,
wow.
Mike. Jack in here talking about you.
You already know what's gonna happen, man. Eric's gonna come in here dropping haymakers.
Hey, man. I got some stuff to go do, man. It's great to talk Falcons football with you all. Friday morning, breakfast with One Time for the Fan. Come on back. Let's do a mock. Terry, let's do a mock. Do you want to do a mock yourself and I do a mock? Because we're going to be, of course, we're two different GMs here, right? You might go after Jack Sawyer if he's on the board at 15 and Mike Green is gone. I might go after the young kid Johnson from Michigan if both of those guys are gone. We don't know, right? But we got to do a mock. Or we can work it together here on One Time for the Fan. The chat can help us out.
Let's work together.
Free agency mock because we don't know what's going on when free agency hits. They might go grab all their players that they need right now in free agency, and then when they get to the draft, they can start building up some depth players.
Let's do it together, Jack. Let's do it together. But I'm sure you just saw what took place, so you know he's coming. But yeah, we're a team here on One Time for the Fan.
Yeah, we gotta get up out of here. We gotta do our shout out.
Let's go ahead.
Calling him now. He's using that Tesla phone. Come on, Elon. Call him, Elon. Hey, man, this is great talking Falcons football with everybody. Wow. This is what One Time for the Fan is about. It's from the fan. It's for the fan. It's going to continue to be that. We ain't never going to change that. You can always come here to the podcast to talk Falcons, positive thoughts. We don't want nobody being negative. We don't bash players. We're not trying to talk bad about the team. He said this man running. Got some things to go do, bro. Gotta go. No, in stream now, face. But big shout out to everybody here in the chat that talks Falcons football with us since day one. You guys have just been great, right? And of course, the draft shows, the 30-minute show, 45 minutes, hour and a half, 2 hours, 3 hours. Me and Bodie, when we did the 4.5-hour draft show last year, it was like, this stuff is it is time consuming, but we love doing it. Like, honestly, Terry can tell you, Kerry can tell you, Bodie can tell you, we talk Falcons on an everyday basis. There's not one day that goes by where we do not talk Falcons. We talk Falcons all the time. It could be Jeff Ulbrich. It could be Nate Ali. Now, of course, the players looking at the roster, trying to rebuild a 53, free agents, draft. I mean, we got something to talk about every episode. What you guys can do is just help us out by joining the podcast and helping us talk Falcons football. We ain't doing nothing wrong. Pamela Johnson, DSGB Hall, Eric Parker, who I'm sure is going to join here shortly. Everybody, we just talk Falcons. We want to see the team win. What are we doing wrong here? But otherwise than supporting our team, representing our birds 24/7, every day, all day, every day. Terry, your shout outs, man, because we can stay here and talk Falcons all night, man. You know how it is. Your podcast is doing well. We have a lot of other content creators who has a very good platform with what they do. So go ahead, Terry, give your shout outs, man. Let's wrap this show up, man.
Yes, sir. To everyone who joined us in the chat, thank you so much for doing that. You could have been anywhere in the world tonight. You chose to be with us. Hey, we thank you for that. We love talking Falcons. As a matter of fact, you're the main reason we do it. So want to thank you. Obviously want to thank God. Would not be here without him. Thank him for waking me up every day. Thank him for everything that he does. Also, hey, you can see me on this channel. At One Time for the Fan. You can also see me at the number 4, my ATL Sports, the number 1 on YouTube, or just click on the link that Jack just had up. And please like, share, and subscribe, as the algorithm allows us to bring this content to you more, the more likes, shares, and subscribes that you get. Thank you for that, Jack. Last but not least, I want to thank Mr. Jack Spade and Mr. Eric Parker, because these two gentlemen did give me my start in this business. And with that being said, Jack, it's on you, sir.
Hey, man, Falcon fans, hit that like, hit that share, hit that subscribe. We just here talking Falcons. We're going to continue to do this. Come on back Friday morning, breakfast with One Time for the Fan, 9 a.m. We're going to have a good time. Grab your Waffle House, Huddle House. Janelle, you seem like an IHOP type of dude. So it won't be too much on the line there.
Oh, wow.
Grab your breakfast. If you're heading to the gym, if you're on the way to work, if you're sitting in traffic, tune in to One Time for the Fan. Facebook, YouTube, social media, check your platforms. One Time for the Fan. Just type us in on Google. We're just out here, like I said, talking Falcons football in a positive way. I'm sure if you ask others about what we do here on the show, if this is your first time listening, they're gonna say the same thing. Yeah, those brothers carry too as well. They talk Falcons football in a positive way. Pamela Johnson said, definitely support all Atlanta content creators. I am on Ladybird of AFN, all female podcast on Tuesday nights at 8 p.m. Falcon fans,
They had a show the other night. Oh God, with where's the Falcon? What's his name? Jesus, I can't. Anyway, it was a pretty good show. So just thought I'd.
Big shout out to all the content creators out here. It's the off season, so people bringing on special guests and speaking with other content creators, or just showing up in everybody's chats and supporting is super cool, right? Because everybody's he's on mute right now. Ain't no time for
Oh wow!
Jarnell knows. He asked me the other day when he's going to be on the podcast, and I told him you can join the podcast if you wear Falcons gear. He has to wear Falcons gear to join the podcast. If he does that, perfectly fine.
Amen.
I don't know where he's going to find some. Matter of fact, I mean, he does have Bulls gear, Bama gear, Colorado Avalanche gear, Arizona Diamondbacks gear, Lithuanian, Lasconian gear, the Russian. You got everything over there, Jarnell. Just go ahead and just grab some Falcons gear too as well.
That's right. You got to swear by Longshanks, Jarnell.
Shit.
Got to do it. Boom. Boom. That was a William Wallace reference.
The Deons ain't going to come, man. The Deons with the Deon jersey.
Okay. I can dig it.
Falcon fans, hit that like, hit that share, hit that subscribe button. A lot of special guests joining us this year. Next week, Friday, Ricondo will be joining us. Matter of fact, let me let y'all see, because some Falcon fans are like, Ricondo? I think I've heard of that guy, man. Ricondo talks Falcons football very well. He does a great job. Ricondo, a real Falcons fan. He's been here on the podcast before. And, of course, when we have our special guests on, we love to bring them back. So big shout out to Ricondo. As you can see here, a real Falcon fan. He does go live on social media too as well. So definitely want to check him out. You can see his channel right there. Don't want YouTube flagging me with no copyright strike. I don't even know what the fuck's going on with YouTube right now. They're tripping. But Ricondo, a real Falcon fan, next week, Friday morning, 9 a.m. He's up at 9 a.m. to talk Falcons with us. So that means you guys got to be up at 9 a.m. to talk Falcons with us too. Bring your questions. Bring your comments to the chat about what the Falcons are doing this offseason. Anything between now and then we will talk about, because that's what we do here in One Time for the Fan. Big shout out to everybody in the chat. Jordan's in the chat. What if my great uncle played for the Falcons? We're not a Jaguar fan, so accept it. Falcons fans, hit that like, hit that share, hit that subscribe button. This is what it's all about.
I love it.
We're going to continue doing this. One time for the fan, from the fan, for the fan. Terry!
Rise up.